For more than a century, Planned Parenthood has provided essential services for women. Planned Parenthood has been the object of such a concerted attack. It's really an attack against a woman's right to choose, to make the most personal, difficult decisions that any woman would face.
So who is the real victim here? Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton finally coming to the defense of Planned Parenthood at an event this past weekend in North Carolina. But will it be enough with the organization's funding on the line? That's where we'll start today's roundtable. Joining us right now, former advisor to Senate Minority Leader Harry Reid and radio host Rabin-Havt. Also here with us, communications strategist Tamara Colbert. Thank you for being with us here today, both of you. I want to start with you, Ari. Let's take a listen. Hillary Clinton's defense of Planned Parenthood came after Nancy Pelosi's, and she may be right about some of those critical services that they provide to women, but even Democrats now are starting to admit there are some real concerns here. Were you surprised that Hillary's defense, Ari, of Planned Parenthood did not come sooner?
I don't know how I don't know if we're expecting her to come out with an instant reaction. I think her defense came in a fairly timely manner, and I think it was the right thing to do. I think Planned Parenthood provides vital health services from breast cancer screenings to HIV tests. And actually, those make up, that type of women's healthcare services makes up the vast and overwhelming majority of what they do in this country, which are vital services in addition to critical women's healthcare services.
Well, that may be true, and they may do all that stuff now, but is it possible to isolate that funding, Tamara, and maybe give that money to other organizations who might be able to do that with the and not talk like this about fetal tissue on hidden cameras?
Absolutely. What we're talking about here is human trafficking in utero.
Wait, don't lie. Just stop lying. Come on.
All right, let her finish.
No. I'm not going to sit here and have people lie.
Let me just clarify.
No. Don't lie. Stop lying, and then I'll stop talking.
All right. And Tamara, just what we're talking about here are accusations, and that Planned Parenthood has come out and denied that they do not participate in the buying or selling of fetal tissue. That is their position here, and that hasn't been proven. But what is concerning is the tone, and even Planned Parenthood, Ari, has admitted that those two doctors are being reprimanded for the tone they took on the video. We'll let the other matters of this case shake out if there is an investigation. But Planned Parenthood, Tamara, talking about this issue in a very callous way, not saying that they actually participate in the buying, selling, or fetal tissue, but doesn't that give some folks pause and say maybe all this money that taxpayers are spending could go to other organizations who also provide this type of care for women?
Absolutely. $500 million of taxpayer money to fund abortions on demand. It's outrageous. I say, let the free market decide. If Planned Parenthood really offers all those great services, then let the free market and let taxpayers on their own go there to purchase those services.
Not a dollar of that money funds abortion.
But Ari, I think what the issue here is that money does go to Planned Parenthood, and for a lot of folks who don't live and work in Washington, they say these funds are specifically dedicated. They just see it all going to the same pot. I know by the technicality here, that money does not go to pay for. And by the letter of the law, does not go for this type of stuff. But for the vast majority of the American public, all they know is that their taxpayer dollars, and it's growing more and more, goes to Planned Parenthood. And when you hear these doctors talk this specific way about this buying and selling of fetal tissue, it is concerning to say the least. Guys, unfortunately, we have to take a commercial break. We're going to come right back. We'll talk more about this. Ari Rabin-Havt and Tamara Colbert from Citizens for Self-Governance. We'll be right back after this. And we welcome you back to our roundtable. Former advisor to Senate Minority Leader Harry Reid and radio host Ari Rabin-Havt, and back with us, Tamara Colbert, communications strategist for Citizens for Self-Governance. All right, Ari, I wanted to back up a bit and give you a chance to respond to Tamara right there. This is getting a little bit heated, but again, nobody here besides Tamara is accusing Planned Parenthood of actually being involved in the buying or selling of fetal tissue. The accusations are out there. That'll shake out. But I wanted to ask you this, Ari, because Hillary Clinton came out in defense after others, not the first to defend Planned Parenthood. But we have Virginia Senator Tim Kaine here talking about the video and calling the accusations that we just talked about very troubling. Kaine's promising to get to the bottom of it. Let's take a listen.
You have my commitment that it will be gotten to the bottom of. I mean, I know that there's a lot of organizations. The House has started an investigation of it. I don't know that the Senate has, but the Senate might. And I also understand that there's investigations at state levels about this. So there are multiple efforts already underway to dig into it.
So there you go, Ari. That is Tim Kaine, a Democrat, expressing his concerns about this. And that's what we're trying to show, is that this is not just a partisan issue here. There are real concerns about the way Planned Parenthood is going about their business.
Look, I think Tim Kaine is wrong. I think watch the entirety of the video, which I did, and you'll realize the clips are completely out of context. Know the facts, and you'll recognize that fetal tissue has been vital in things like developing the polio vaccine, the chickenpox vaccine, other issues of medical research which we would find to be foundations of public health. You know, I think the other thing to keep in mind is the framers of our Constitution were so concerned about bills of attainder, which are bills that specifically designed to punish one organization or person. They put it twice in Article 1, in Section 9 and Section 10 of Article 1, outlawing the idea of bills of attainder. So frankly, I think there is no case against Planned Parenthood, and if there was, work it out in the courts where they belong, not in a political body.
Well, Ari does have a point there, Tamara. What would you like to say to that?
I'd like to say that our founders were right. You cannot have liberty without life. That's why in the Declaration it's life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And we can smokescreen this all we want, but when you get a physician for Planned Parenthood talking about how she can't wait to purchase her Lamborghini with fetal tissue and body parts, the videos speak for themselves, and Planned Parenthood is on the defense, and they have to answer for this.
Yeah, and, you know, that's where I kind of, come into this. All right, I don't care how many times you have to explain this to somebody on a 2-hour videotape, whether it's edited or not. There should never be any point in the conversation when a doctor who deals so closely with this type of procedure would be making those kind of comments, joking about a Lamborghini.
So is a bad joke, a joke that's admittedly in poor taste within the context of a video, a reason to displace a healthcare provider for millions of Americans?
Well, I don't. I think what it is
question.
a starting point for this debate that we're seeing when you hear folks like Tim Kaine weighing in, saying it's time to take a closer look at the way Planned Parenthood is going about its business.
Tim Kaine's a coward. I mean, Tim Kaine should be standing up for women's rights, and Tim Kaine isn't doing that because he's a coward, frankly.
Why? Do you think he's more concerned about? Go ahead,
That's not women's rights. Sorry. Good try, Ari. Abortion is not women's rights. It's wrong. Okay. It's murder. And you're not a woman. You don't understand what women go through. But the right to say, I want to kill my baby, I'm sorry. Americans shouldn't be paying for that.
Americans don't pay for that. And frankly, Americans should pay for that. It should be. I don't have a problem with government paying for that, but they don't currently.
I have a problem with government paying for that. This is a republic, and the taxpayer dime should not go to fund Planned Parenthood. I say let the free market decide. There's plenty of other healthcare providers where women could get all their.
But you're saying let the free market.
All right. Well, even as Ari pointed out, right now it's against the law for our taxpayer dollars to go for that directly, even though some folks might argue it. One more thing I want to play real quickly. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, he is one pushing a bill in the Senate to defund Planned Parenthood. Let's take a listen to Senator Paul from this weekend.
And I guarantee you that people across America who are outraged by this are going to call their senators and say, have you signed Rand Paul's discharge petition? Because they're going to want to vote on defunding Planned Parenthood. And I think we actually might be able to win that vote.
Sorry, you think this is all just election year rhetoric coming from the Republicans like Rand Paul?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be vetoed and it won't go anywhere. And also, Rand Paul, who claims to be a constitutionalist, should check out Article 1, Section 9, which bars bills of attainder. You can't have a bill to punish a single organization. The founders were very clear on that.
Well, I'm sure he would disagree with that particular assessment of what he's trying to do. But meantime, the debate continues. We know the House is certainly going to take a closer look at this issue, and we'll have you both back as things do progress. Ari Rabin-Havt, thanks so much for being with us. Also, Tamara Colbert, we appreciate you being with us here as well. All right, this goes to show you how heated this issue is. And again, we're not saying that Planned Parenthood was buying and selling fetal tissue. Again, that is going to be investigated by Congress and others, and I'm sure they'll get to the bottom of it. Very concerning, though, to hear the way these two doctors were talking about the situation, so callous. Very concerning. The debate continues. Meantime, we come back. We're going to talk a little bit more about this issue. Healthcare reporter for the Washington Examiner, Paige Cunningham, joins us to talk about the efforts in Congress to defund Planned Parenthood. We're back right after this.